All right, going over pitch logic report here. First thing I see when I scroll down is speed, right? So we're wanting to see good variation between velocities on pitch type. So what we're seeing here, obviously, they are labeled by each pitch type down here on the bottom. You can see four seam, two seam, curveball, cutters, and changeups. Now some of those right there, this athlete really only throws a four seam, but we're learning the consistency, which is why we're seeing a four seam, a two seam, and a cutter on his fastball types. He's trying to differentiate, whether he wants a slider or a curve, and then he throws the changeup as well. So right now, this one here, inconsistency in that fastball grip is going to start cleaning those up as we make that better and more consistent. And then obviously he's going to pick between a slider and a curve. And then also the changeup is a pitch that he's been putting a lot of time and effort into. So ideally, we'd like to pare this down to not having multiple different types of fastballs going on. But as we're evaluating a player, we want to know where they start. So if we see that the four seam or the two seam or the cutter is the better pitch, then we're going to start gravitating towards that one specific pitch type for the fastball. And then as we see whether it's the slider or the curve, we're going to keep pulling towards one of those as well, because I'd rather have three really good pitches than, four or five kind of okay pitches. So, that's kind of the first step is number one, what is the athlete throwing? What is your stuff profiling as you use it? And how do you start maximizing that information to make the best pitch design plan you can have? So after that, we're going to start looking at arm slot. Is there any inconsistencies that we're going to see in the arm slot of these athletes? And what we're seeing is, for the most part, he's right in that range right here. So there's a little bit, redraw that so it's a little bit cleaner there. We'll go about it a little different ways. We're seeing this one here doesn't look like it's his throw. That one looks like maybe a throwback from the catcher that got read poorly. But if we're going to take this from there all the way to there, that is our range of what we have between all of our pitch types. But for the most part, he's right around 2 o'clock. Like you can see that good band right there that we're falling into that consistency of about 2 o'clock. So overall, not bad. Yes, there's a little bit of inconsistency between the other pitch types in there, but overall, we're looking for consistency as best as possible. And that's going to help us, in the beginning stages of learning tunnel between pitch types. After that, we go into the movement. So when it comes to the movement, what we want to see is big distances off of each pitch type. So obviously looking at the fastballs here in the red, kind of the maroonish in this, whatever color that is, but we see that they're kind of all spread here. For the most part, we have a lot of those right in that range and a couple down in there. So those are kind of our fastballs that I've circled there. That's our starting point. And then we get into the changeup, and then we're seeing that changeup kind of has a little range here, a couple of them. Looks like maybe that was one of the throws back from the catcher with the way that thing's profiling. But overall, we're seeing, in general, some good shape off that fastball. So even then, we're just going to do this a little differently here. If we're looking kind of, hey, what is our each one of our pitch types doing? And then if we're looking at that breaking ball, we have this amount of range there, but for the most part, we're right in there. And then we'll use red for the curve. So if we're looking at that, yeah, we have a pretty good little, use case between our pitch types. So realistically, all these are going to play pretty well off of each other. This pitcher here has won some national awards. He pitches on a national team for his country as well. So we're seeing some pretty good progress in terms of what it is that he's doing. So, when we look at that, we can get more granular into each pitch type as well for how these things are working. This is a remote athlete. He's not in the same country even with me right now, but I'm able to take his data and give him feedback on what it is that he needs to do. So it's one of those things, if you're looking for a little bit of feedback on your data, reach out to us. We can help you out with that. Again, I'm not going real in depth of what we're doing. I'm just kind of giving you a quick rundown of how we use that data, what it is we can do with it, how we can start pulling just off of your pitch logic report, or really whatever reports it is that you have. You can send them our way. We can start going over those and help you design that plan to improve what it is you're doing. So, just to give a quick, rundown